right. Welcome everybody to our Sustainable Cities Network and Climate Resilience Workgroup meeting in December 2021. With that, I'd like to introduce our speakers for today's meeting. We're going to be talking about engaging youth and sustainability. And so I'd like to introduce Darice Ellis, who is Sustainability Specialist for the City of Phoenix, and Emma Collins, who is AmeriCorps VISTA member and Student Engagement Coordinator for the City of Phoenix's Office of Sustainability. So we're very excited because both of these individuals have been invested in really furthering engagement with various young populations, touching on several initiatives, including the high school Student Council Sustainability Officer Program, which I've had the good fortune to engage with over the last couple of years, involving students in the Youth Climate Summit, and then of course, adapting the Sustainable Cities Network Greening Events Guide for use by students in Arizona schools. And of course, I know they'll touch on a lot of other things as well as part of the presentation. I did include their bios in the information sent out, but I'd like to give each of them the opportunity to introduce themselves individually, maybe telling us a little bit more about them that's not in their bio. So Darice, I will hand it over to you, and then Emma can provide her introduction as well.
Hello, everyone. I'm Darice Ellis, and I am from the city of Phoenix. I've actually been with the city. Oh, I just had an anniversary. I want to say 15 years in November. Born and raised in Missouri, the Show Me State. Went to undergrad in Ohio. I won't mention that school. It always starts some sort of conversation I'm not ready to have. And then I lived in Philadelphia for, oh my God, almost 25 years. And so we moved out to Phoenix area. I'm actually in East Mesa. And I was so fortunate to get a job with the city of Phoenix. At that time, I was in the Office of Environmental Programs. And as things progressed, the city listened to the people and created the Office of Sustainability. And I was moved there, and I've been there since. I think it's been 5 or 6 years. I can't even remember, but all great things. Just I feel it's an honor to be doing what I really feel like I was put on this earth to do. And so I have a passion for all of this, and just grateful to be working with this group especially. We're always looking for friends in this field, and Sustainable Cities Network has definitely and remains to be our friend in our work. So thank you for having us today.
Thank you. Yes, we're always up for friends and expanding our partnerships, aren't we? Emma?
Hi, everyone. My name is Emma Collins, and I am the AmeriCorps VISTA this year with the City of Phoenix Office of Sustainability. I'm very excited to be here. I was born and raised in Arizona. I went to Northern Arizona University up in Flagstaff, where I kind of did a similar program as a college student. They had eco reps up there. So it was really exciting to see this opportunity open up with the City of Phoenix. My background is primarily working with youth serving organizations such as Girl Scouts and the Arizona Science Center, because I really love taking science concepts and making them accessible to youth. So this is a really fun program to do that with.
Wonderful. Great. Well, I'm thrilled that you have association with the Girl Scouts. That's an awesome program. Well, good.
Yeah.
With that, I will turn over to Darice. I believe you're going to go first with the presentation. And for those of you that might have questions, if you could put them in the chat, we're going to hold the questions until the end and then field them that way. So Darice, go right ahead and jump in.
The official title of our program is Student Council Sustainability Officers. Sometimes we say initiative or program, or SCSO. You can go to the next slide. I don't like looking at myself in pictures. But today we're going to hopefully, I was mentioning earlier that I feel like some of you have probably heard this presentation or heard me talk about this before. So please bear with us if you have. I'm going to give a program description and talk a little bit about the mission and goals of what we're trying to achieve, touch base on the history, the benefits, and then really get into some of the activities that we're doing currently with the students. Emma's going to talk to you about that. And it's also such an honor to have Emma here. The city, for the first time, actually put some resources into it in the form of allowing us to get a VISTA dedicated specifically to this program. And so I'm honored to have her here as well. And she's going to talk to you guys more specifically about some of the activities, that greening events guide that Ann mentioned, and then some of our successes, and then some of the exciting news we have for the program moving forward. Next. It's simple, you know, for those of you that are interested in the concept. It's very simple. Well, in my mind, it is. It's just been kind of hard to convince schools to do it. But our mission is to add a sustainability officer position to STUCOs. So where you have a president, a vice president, the treasurer, the secretary, we'd like to now have a sustainability officer position added to student government. And the whole purpose of that is just to help to enhance sustainability on school campuses, you know, help the students to green events, help the students to do a lot more education and setting goals for their school campuses around sustainability. We choose STUCO. We often get asked this question, but when we think about it, and even in just working on this program, there's a lot of change, and the change happens frequently from year to year. I feel like I'm starting over a lot. Principals change, STUCO advisors change, the kids graduate. Most of them are always seniors, so they graduate. And I'm, you know, having to, you know, do a lot of, oh, here I go again, starting over. We figure we would lessen that if you could get the position into the student government, and in so doing, you would have to amend the constitution of that school so that when it's time for elections, that position will be there. And so we help schools write position descriptions so that, and we've really come a long way with that. It's almost second nature for Phoenix Union. That's what we've targeted. But they have amended their constitutions. And so there is a sustainability officer position within student government, and someone is running for that position every year. Next.
Darice, can I ask a question? You mentioned
Sure.
STUCO. What is the acronym? And
oh, I'm sorry. That's the student. I've been around these kids for so much. That is the student body or student government of the school. So they call them STUCOs in most cases. I don't know if other schools refer to them differently, but they are that body of students that, you know, the president, the vice president, and have you. So it's student government. Yes. So this program started in 2013. I really feel like it was so much longer than that, but you know, when we go through our notes, I cannot lie, it was 2013. The concept was formed, and we targeted Phoenix Union. It just made sense to me. I'm a visionary in some ways, and I saw down the road that if we were going to be promoting this program at the national level or state level, it made sense to first have Phoenix Union in it, because people would, you know, identify with the name of the school district. Also, Phoenix Union, you know, is one of the largest and most diverse. And so it was going to meet some of our other needs in that way as well. Bioscience High School, I went out, you know, folks, and I did one-on-one. I was almost like a door-to-door saleswoman, and I was going around to every school talking to, you know, principals and student government advisors, and you know, I was getting, no, you know, we don't want to add more work to the teachers, which I'm telling them, no, it's not going to be any more work, and let someone else try it first. I actually had someone tell me that. I presented to Bioscience High School, and they were like, well, we'll get back to you. Sure enough, after a year of this, they hired a new student government teacher, and someone told her about it. She called me and she said, we want to do this. And so Bioscience High School was first. It really works because they're close to City Hall. The senior seniors at their school, let me get this right, have to have 200 hours of interning before they can graduate. And so what we provide to them, whoever runs for this position and wins successfully gets to intern in our Office of Sustainability at the city. And they serve as the coordinator for all of the other schools and sustainability officers in Phoenix Union School District. So we've been doing that since 2016, I think. We're on our 7th student, and it's just been remarkable. These kids are just the best. They each have shown up with different personalities, different strengths, different characteristics, and I have just enjoyed every last one. In 2018, we were able to partner with Sustainable Cities Network. We created the Greening Events Guide. Some of you all may remember that. You were very much involved in that coming together of that document. And the students used that, and we held our first sustainability challenge. No, in 2018, it was the Food and Fitness Challenge. And then moving forward, I think the following year, we focused on who had the greenest prom using the Greening Events Guide. And then in 2019, 2020, we focused on green games, like how to green sporting events, meetings, and such. So with the Sustainability Challenge, it's really right now nestled into Phoenix Union. The schools come together for 5 weeks. And we pick 3 winners of the challenge, and we give out a total of $5,000. The money has to be used towards enhancing sustainability on their campuses. And that actually comes from our very small sustainability budget for the city. 1 year we did have a grant to run it. That Food and Fitness Challenge, we wrote a grant to the U.S. Conference of Mayors, and we were able to get grant for it that year. But for the most part, our city management has been supporting it in that way. And I can talk more about that if you're interested in questions. Next. There are some benefits to the program. We definitely try and increase opportunities for grants, special funding, and awards. The very first year we ran this with Bioscience, we worked with those students. They wrote a grant, and it was very small, but they led it, they did it, we supported them, and they got like $500 or $600. I think it was from USGBC, and they, or is that the Green Building Council, and they got money to plant their own garden. And so we help them and support them in ways for funding and awards. At one point, we were working with the School of Sustainability, and any student that served as a sustainability officer received special consideration for, that school has a scholarship. I think it's called Sustainability Champions. And we had 2 students get that, but they had to major in sustainability to receive it. You're highlighted as a trailblazer and a national leader if you participate. We did our research, we continue to do our research, and there are no other school programs like this around the country. They have these type of things at the collegiate level. There's also something locally and nationally called I think they're called science.
Chief Science Officers.
Oh my God. Chief Science Officers. Thanks, Emma. But this is different. And when I met with Phoenix Union School Board at the very beginning, they had me at the table with that organization that runs the Chief Science Officer program. And we just had to guarantee that it wasn't going to be confusing, but we are indeed different. We work through STUCO, as I mentioned, and that really makes a difference. And sustainability is the big picture. So science kind of falls under that. We're coordinating larger efforts with this program. It's been very important to having these students around. They've helped us reach our 2050 sustainability goals in so many ways. When we first set out to get the goals out to the community, and we wanted input. Mark Hartman and I developed these huge 4x8 interactive boards, and we approached it like the Goldilocks approach. Is this goal too hot, too cold, or just right? And these students actually helped carry those boards around to their schools, and they gave their input. So when you look at our 2050 goals, a lot of that input, they actually felt our goals weren't aggressive enough, let me tell you that. So, but they did provide input, and we did what we could do to make sure their voices were heard. Most recently, I didn't think I was going to run the program during COVID. It was just challenging. To me, I thought it was going to be challenging, and the students came, they're like, no, we want to do this. Bioscience, they said, no, we want to do this. We're going to make this work. And so they took on a different role. They actually became more of an advisory group for us. And in particular, the city's Office of Environmental Programs was working on the climate action plan. And they just found a way to really get involved in that, and actually help to host one workshop, maybe two, I know one for sure, that was targeted specifically for youth. And in my mind and in my heart, I just believe that this is a group we often overlook. When we go out to the community for input on things, and we want, and especially if we're talking sustainability, folks, you know, and we're talking about long-term, who better yet to have at the table, you know, since this is going to impact their group more so than the rest of us. And so I've just been pushing really, and not just with the climate action planning, but with other policies that we're putting together. My goal is to make sure that our department heads know that we have this mechanism already in place, and you can tap into this group, and they're so willing to just, they want us to listen to them. So we're really encouraging them to speak up. They've shown up at council sessions. We thought a couple years ago that we weren't going to be recycling. They showed up, they got up to the mic. We've had sustainability officers from bioscience present to councils, subcommittee, and full council. These are things that I've yet to even do. And so we try and provide these types of opportunities for them, because we're also developing sustainability leaders. And that's part of what this program does as well. And then I think, I can't really see this last part of this, but yeah, we are also, one of the benefits is increasing revenue from recycling and reducing energy and water costs. We were tracking that data earlier on, and we're now back to doing that. And we do see the benefits. We work with the sustainability lead. I think some of you may know him, Tony Scarfo. We work closely with him in Phoenix Union, and he's very supportive of this program. And we use a lot of the funding and the revenue that they get from diverting their waste for things like this, like getting the t-shirts for the students and helping them to just succeed in what they're trying to do. So that's my part of this. And I'm going to turn it over to Emma. She's going to get into some more details, and then we're going to take questions at the end.
Okay, so I'm going to jump in and talk about what the sustainability officers actually do, what are the activities that they take part in. And the first thing is monthly meetings. Before COVID, they were in person, where all of them would get together from the Phoenix Union, meet each other, and just be able to form a peer committee to kind of bounce ideas off of each other and give us a chance to provide environmental outreach to them. Most recently, post-COVID, it's all been online. You can see this picture up here is actually from our last December monthly meeting, where we had Councilwoman Anasari come and speak to the sustainability officers and kind of just give them a chance to talk to a council member, which was very fun for them and kind of insightful for them to be able to ask those questions. They can use those monthly meetings to kind of plan what outreach they're going to do on campus, because that is kind of the big picture projects for them, is deciding what sustainability projects their campus needs and then how to complete them. I know that in our last meeting, one of the sustainability officers actually is coordinating a program where him along with the other environmental clubs will actually be driving all of the recycling from their school to be recycled, because they're currently having an issue with actually making sure the recycling doesn't end up in a landfill. So they are solving that problems themselves. And then lastly, they do take part in the district-wide sustainability challenge. This happens in the spring semester, like Darice said, and it will have a targeted theme. The last one being the Green Games, where it was actually a 5-week challenge. Each week had a different theme. And it allowed them to kind of focus on different topics, earn points, and just kind of get into that competitive spirit to encourage the whole student body to kind of get in. And the sustainability officers oversee that and manage the school's efforts. And then also, as part of this program, the students use the Greening Events Guide for Schools, which is kind of a scaled down version of the Greening Events Guide, because we found that students who were using it thought that that larger guide was kind of not as user-friendly for students. So with their help, we have kind of developed one specifically designed to be used by students for school events. And we are actually now working with the Arizona Department of Education to try to get that spread out further than just the Phoenix Union, because this is a beneficial document for any school to use, high schools and lower, like middle schools and elementary schools as well. And then, of course, the fun part, what are some of our successes? The picture on the left of the beautiful greens was actually a project completed at Wilson Preparatory Academy. They won second place one year in the sustainability challenge and used their funds that they received to start a community garden at their school and then host cooking classes at their school to teach students how to prepare healthy meals. And they've definitely had a lot of fun doing that. So just kind of connecting, getting kids outdoors and kind of creating healthy relationships with food. The picture on the right is Linda Abril Academy. They are actually the first winner of our sustainability challenge back in 2018 with the food and fitness challenge. They used their funds to purchase PE equipment because they're a very small school, and before that they actually didn't have any equipment to get the kids involved in physical activities. So we are seeing these initiatives come into place just based off of the student needs and them advocating for their own sustainability needs on campus and just kind of pushing for them and finding ways to implement that, which is very, very cool to see student-led action, because a lot of times students don't feel like they have a voice. And this program really encourages them to find their voice and use it. And of course, the future of the program, we are looking to expand into more school districts in Maricopa County. We are working with the Arizona Department of Education to kind of identify which school districts might be the best fit for us to reach out to. And in expanding this program, because we feel like this program can be done in any school. It doesn't need to just be Phoenix Union. The more schools we get, the better, and the larger the impact this program will have. We are also finalizing that Greening Events Guide for schools. That way it can be sent out for use in schools. And we would love that to be statewide, not just in Maricopa County, because like we said before, it's something that can be used at any school at any level. And we're really just looking to kind of branch out this program and get the sustainability officers in schools statewide. So yeah, that is our program. Sorry, I talked a little fast. So if you do have any questions, we are happy to discuss those and kind of delve further in if you have any questions.
And I just want to add too, we did recognize that some schools did not and do not have strong student governments. And so rather than tell them, no, you can't participate, we do let those schools identify students that may be in environmental clubs. The teachers or the principals will pick a student and say they will serve as our sustainability officer for this year. So we do allow some flexibility in that. It's more important to us that there is participation, but not every school has a strong sustainable student government. And so they come to the program a different way. The one thing we do require though, is if you're going to participate in the challenge, you have to have an identified sustainability officer.